This is part 2 of lesson 11-1. We're going to be finding the area of triangles in this lesson, and we're going to use sort of triangle guides, so you'll see what I mean when we jump into our examples. We've got 4 examples after going over the lesson. So as a reminder, as a review, area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2, or 1/2 base times height, so 1/2 base times height, or you could write it as base times height divided by 2. It's the same thing either way. Doesn't matter which way you look at it. So in this triangle here, our base is 24. Our height is 28. Height is the distance from the top of your shape straight down to the base of your shape. It's a perpendicular line. It's straight up and down vertical, okay? So 1/2 times 24 times 28, or 24 times 28 divided by 2, and we get 336. 24 times 28 is 672, and 672 divided by 2 is 336. So the area of this triangle is 336 square meters. Remember, when you find area, it's two-dimensional. So it's not just length, it's length times width. So when we have our meters, it's actually square meters. Okay, so we're going to jump into these examples. There's 6 examples. I'm just going to do 3 of them. All right, so for number 2 here, you can see they've kind of created, to help us out, this little triangle guide. So by using this, we can figure out the area of this big triangle, but that's not the area that they want us to find. They want us to find the area of just the shaded triangle. This triangle with the dotted lines doesn't really count. It's just there to help us. Right? So by drawing this line and this line, we've created this new triangle, and it turns our triangle into one big right triangle. So we're going to find the area, and then we're going to subtract the area of this guy from the entire area. Okay, so we're going to multiply height, 1/2 times the base, which is 8 plus 22, so 30, times the height. Oh, I didn't realize I couldn't see that, sorry. Times the height, which is 16. Okay, so that's the area of this entire right triangle. Then we need to subtract just this guy to find the area of the shaded. Okay, so 30 times 16, my calculator right here is 480. Divided by 2 is 240. 480 divided by 2 equals 240. So it's 240 square feet. Okay, and then we want to subtract just this little guy we didn't use, that we don't really need, this guide, this triangle guide. So this is, the area of this guy is 16 times 8 divided by 2. So 1/2 times 16 times 8. 16 times 8 equals 128 divided by 2 equals 64. So we've got our 240 is our area of this whole thing, minus this 64 area is going to give us 176 square feet. SF and feet squared are the same thing. This is square feet, this is feet squared. Same thing. So our shaded triangle here, the area is 176 square feet, and then we have to find the perimeter, right? So to find the perimeter, we have this side, we need this third side, right? So this right triangle can help us find the length of this third side because it's just the hypotenuse of this right triangle. So we're just going to use Pythagorean theorem, right? So we're going to use, for this hypotenuse, we're going to use 16 squared plus 8 squared equals that missing side squared. 16 squared is 256. 8 squared is 64. 256 and 64, I think it's 320. We did that earlier on the other worksheet. Yep, 320. And then when we take the square root of that, oh, you can't see the work I'm doing. When we take the square root of 320, we get 17.9-ish. We get either positive or negative 17.9, but when we're talking about measurements, it can't be negative. So this is about 17.9. So to find the perimeter, we're going to add 17.9 plus 34 plus 22. 73.9. Perimeter equals 73.9. And that's feet, not feet squared. All we did was add, we didn't multiply, so we didn't change the dimensions. 73.9 feet is the distance around the outside. And then the area is 176 square feet. Okay, next one. Let's do number 4. We're using another triangle guide here. So for this guy, this bottom, this entire base here is 13 plus 9, 22. 22 centimeters. And then the height is 9. So we're going to do 9 times 22 divided by 2. 9 times 22 is 198. Divided by 2 is 99. So that's 99 centimeters, and it's the area, so it's square centimeters. So that's this entire thing, but then we want to subtract this helper guy, right? So it's going to be the area of this helper triangle is 1/2 the base times the height. So 9 times 9 divided by 2, that's 81 divided by 2, 40.5 minus 40.5, 99 minus 40.5 equals 58.5 centimeters squared. So that's the area of just the shaded. The entire triangle is 99 minus this guy, which was 40.5, leaves us with just this guy, which is 58.5 centimeters. That's the area. Now we need to find the perimeter. So first off, we need to find this distance. So we can use Pythagorean theorem for this right triangle. Grab this. Okay, so for this whole big triangle, the bottom is 22, the side is 9. So we're going to do 22 squared plus 9 squared, and that's going to equal the hypotenuse squared, which is what we want. Okay, 22 squared is 484 plus 81 is 565. And then when I take the square root of 565, I get about 23.8. I rounded it. 23.8. So the length of this long side here is about 23.8 centimeters. That's rounded, so it's not exact. And now I need to find the length of this side, because I'm only focused on this shaded triangle. This dotted line guy is not part of the problem. We just created it as kind of a guide or a helper triangle to help us out. If we didn't have that there, how would we figure out the length of this side? Because it's not a right triangle, right? We made it a right triangle. All right, so now to figure this out, it's the hypotenuse of this helper triangle. So 9 squared plus 9 squared equals x squared. Pythagorean theorem. 9 squared plus 9 squared equals x squared. That's 81 plus 81, which is 162. And the square root of 162 is about 12.7-ish. About 12.7. And that's in centimeters, excuse me. So now for perimeter, we just add 23.8 plus 12.7 plus 13. And I get about 49.5. So P equals 49.5 and centimeters. It's not squared centimeters, it's not area, it's just centimeters. I'll double check myself. Plus, I got 38.5. 23.8 plus 12.7 plus 13, 49.5. Okay, I don't know what I left off. And then last but not least here, number 6. Now really, the argument can be made, do we need this helper triangle? I don't think we do, because this shaded part on its own is a right triangle. So to me, I don't need it, right? 21 squared plus 21 squared equals x squared. Since both legs are the same length, this is a 45, 45, 90. So I know to find the hypotenuse, I'm just going to multiply the leg times the square root of 2. And when I do that, I'm using my calculator, I get about 26.7. Okay, so I can figure out the area. It's 1/2 base times height. So 21 times 21 divided by 2. gives us our area. 21 squared divided by 2 equals about 220.5, and that's in square millimeters. That's our area. And then for our perimeter, I'm just going to add up 21 plus this hypotenuse, which is about 26.7. And I get about 68.7. And that's just in regular millimeters. When it gives you measurement and it's asking you to find one of the measurements, do not forget to put the units of measure with your answer. Do not just put 68.7. I got to know 68.7 what? Square millimeters, inches, feet, cubed meters. Like, what is it? You got to tell me. Okay, and then last but not least, I'm back up a little bit. Number 7. I have not read this one yet, so this will be new to me. The logo for an engineering company is on a poster at a job fair. The logo consists of 2 triangles that have the dimensions shown. What are the perimeter and area of each triangle? All right, so they're 2 different sizes, right? Here's our 2 triangles. We want the perimeter and area of each. So we know this is 25. This is 25. This is a 45, 45, 90 triangle if both the legs are the same. So we know to get the hypotenuse, we multiply the leg times the square root of 2, which is going to be about, 2 square root times 25, about 35.4 is the length of that hypotenuse, right? And then for this triangle over here, this is 25, this is 20. So this is not a 45, 45, 90. So I'm going to have to use Pythagorean theorem. So 25 squared plus 20 squared equals x squared. 625 plus 400. Take the square root, and I get about 32, it's 32.01562, but when I round to the nearest tenth, it's about 32. Okay, so now I can figure out the perimeter of each triangle. For triangle 1, 32 plus 20 plus 25. Triangle 1, perimeter equals 32 plus 25 plus 20 equals 4577, and that's in inches. For triangle 2, the perimeter was 25 plus 25 plus about 35.4, so that's about 85.4. Because this and this is 50, plus 35 is 85.4 inches. Okay, so we have the perimeter of each triangle. Now we need to find the area. Area is just 1/2 base times height. So height times base divided by 2. 25 times 25 divided by 2 for triangle 2, and 25 times 20 divided by 2 for triangle 1. Okay, so I'll say triangle 1, area equals 20 times 25 divided by 2, which is about 250, and that's in square inches. And, oh, sorry, it's crooked. And then for triangle 1, area equals 25 times 25 divided by 2. 25 squared is 625, 312.5. And that's in square inches. Okay, so hopefully you guys understand that part okay. If you have any questions on triangles, it should all be a review, but any questions at all, let me know.